Hello, this is different from my usual vlogs because the other week my partner said that I should try doing a day in the life, but a realistic one, because with a baby around, the days can be quite difficult. When I think of a day, I don't really see it as a sunrise to sunset. My concept of a day revolves around my infant's feeding schedule. I think a lot of the mom content out there doesn't really fully represent the realities of childcare. For example, I don't really know many mothers out there who wake up in the morning and have the time to put on a full face of makeup or walk around in Lululemon or even fix breakfast for themselves. I think it's possible if you have help at home, like if you have a helper whose job is to help out, or you have a grandparent around to ease the burden. But if it's just you and your baby and you need to stay beside your baby from morning till night, from night till morning, then it looks very different. I just don't think that a lot of the new mom content out there is truthful. And obviously there is a good reason for it, because content that is less truthful is more popular. You'll get more engagement, more likes. People want to see something that is cute, something that's polished, something that's maybe a little bit romanticized, especially people who are aspiring mothers, people who want to be mothers someday. I already have quite an easy infant, and the reality is that 95% of the time, not even 90% of the time, it is not cute or fun to lose sleep, to wake up in the middle of the night. So the feeding schedule goes feed at midnight, feed at 6 a.m, feed at 12 noon, feed at 6 p.m. This is milk. For solids, twice a day, usually around like 9 a.m and 3 p.m. Usually it's one egg, one fruit, or one fruit, one porridge, or one egg, one porridge. The combination is different from day to day, depending on what we have in the fridge. Sunday night to Thursday night, I take care of baby alone. I'll do the midnight feed, I'll do the 3 or 4 a.m diaper change and soothing, and I'll do the 6 a.m feed. Friday night and Saturday night, my partner is around, so he will usually do the midnight feed and the 6 a.m feed, and I'll get to sleep through those 2 nights. I chose a Friday to record my day in the life because honestly, the nights where I have to do it all again the next day just get very repetitive. But Friday nights are my favorite because finally I can get to sleep through the night. I wanted to show that, it's not all bad, and that if you're lucky enough, your partner will do the parenting as well. So it's very important to find a parent who will do the parenting as well. That's just my opinion. This is how it is with my 7-month-old. I've heard it can get worse all the way until they are 3 or 4. I don't want to think about it. I'm just going to focus on the now. On the topic of untruthful representations, I would say that on some level I am not entirely truthful either, because I don't really show the difficult parts in my usual vlogs. But in my defense, sometimes I don't have the presence of mind to take my phone out and press record at 3 a.m when my infant is screaming for attention. It took conscious effort to remember to record almost everything for a day. So without further ado, this is a day in my life. For the CCTV footage, there are timestamps in the top corner, so I didn't really feel the need to put timestamps on those clips. Enjoy! Yeah, I got it. Ayo, baby. Leg, give me your leg. Okay. Over. Right arm. Yeah, go.
the spoon clean, Angel? 哎呦，手上。Okay.
Drink.
有白的啊，我们买白的给你。
Where are we going? You done your...
Oh dear lord, oh dear lord.
He's kicking. It's a feisty one. He's kicking. It's a feisty one. Oh boy.
Oh.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, Sagala.
Can you see Kaden?
So that's one day, and it's a good day. It's a Friday. Other days are not so good. Some days are also not that bad. I think parenting and childcare truly has its ups and downs. I want to continue talking about why I think it's very important for people to know what they're getting into before they decide to go through pregnancy and childbirth. Of course, if you have chosen this path, then it feels like it's worth it. But I think one of the dangers of posting untruthful content is that people may be misled into thinking that it is going to be easy, and then they have a child blindly. Maybe they get postpartum depression, maybe they never ever get over their postpartum depression. They end up repeating the traumas that were inflicted on them by their own parents. I think if you just think about it, and if you are a late millennial or even like a zillennial, you will know somebody who does not have a good relationship with their parents, or even maybe both their parents. You will also know somebody who, you know, if you chat about your childhood, you know that their parents were perhaps neglectful, maybe even low-key abusive. You will know somebody whose parents seemed very annoyed at their very existence, always wanted them to just go to their room and shut up. And you will know somebody whose parents always seemed very angry at them all the time. You will know somebody who still feels guilt when they think about their relationship with their parents, because their entire childhood they have been told that if their parents didn't have them, they would be able to do this and that, they would be free, they would have a career, they would further their education, but too bad they had children, and then they had to settle down and they had to sacrifice so many things for their children, etc., etc. So this happens because people in the past, they didn't really think about what having children would mean before they had children. They just had children because they thought it was the next natural step. You know, just find somebody, settle down, get married, maybe somebody from church, and then you just have children, 1 or 2 or 3, because that is like the accepted number. And then the child comes out, they just end up unhappy, maybe being chained at home, unhappy at having to give up their career, unhappy at having to become a housewife, having to do all the things that are expected of a mom, unhappy at being nagged at by their mothers-in-law about how they should be raising their children, unhappy at how ungrateful their small children seem to be, because small children do not have any concept of empathy. They can only think about themselves and their needs and their wants. And then they just end up feeling like they gave up their whole life, they sacrificed their existence, they sacrifice their happiness for their child, and then all this resentment comes out and makes them mistreat their child. And this could have been avoided entirely if they were able to make an informed decision from the start. I really do not approve of momfluencer content that romanticizes the day-to-day of childcare, because unless your child is Jesus incarnate, I really do not think it is as beautiful and rosy and perfect as you depict. But when you do that, when you sell a particular lifestyle, you are actually doing something dangerous. You are promoting an ideology. You're hawking something that doesn't actually exist. And this actually affects people's lives, because once you have a child, it's like irreversible. Even if you give the child away, or you like put the baby up for adoption, the reality is that the process of childbearing damages your body. And there are also women out there who are very resentful towards their children for damaging their bodies. They have stretch marks, they have loose skin, they have bad backs, and then they will say to their kids, you know, if I didn't have you, I would still be slender and beautiful. Because I had you, my body was ruined. And it's just like, you know, you didn't know that your body will get ruined. You didn't know, your mother didn't tell you. But that's the thing, I think their mother didn't tell them. They didn't learn about it in school. There are so many things that you don't get taught in school. Maybe because if you learnt it all, people and women would be scared away from childbirth. They would swear at the age of 16 that they will never ever have children, and that's not what any country wants, right? But when you sort of trick people into having children, the person that suffers the most is the child lah. Yes, the mother suffers, but like if the mother does not have the self-control to not transfer the suffering or to lash out at the supposed source of their misery, then the child is going to suffer. Then you're just going to get another traumatized child going to school, sharing with their friends about all the things that their mother said to them, that their mother did to them. Another child who has to grow up and go for therapy to unpack all the shame and guilt that they weren't even supposed to carry all their lives. I really admire people who take family planning seriously. Like, they may want many children, but they maybe stop at one because they know that they won't be able to give another child the full care that the child deserves, or maybe people who know for sure that they are going to focus on their career, so they just say, you know what, I'm not going to have children, because even if I have children, I'm just going to dump them in infant care. They're just going to end up being raised by their grandparents, etc., etc., and then they just don't. There is nothing wrong with just not having children, my personal belief is. And I also believe that before anybody, especially women, has children, you need to go and talk to people who have had children, and are not afraid to tell you all the things that happen to their body, from their hair to their gut to their feet. You need to go and learn and find out exactly what happened to other people. You need to go read up on preeclampsia. You need to go and read up on gestational diabetes. You need to mentally prepare yourself for the fact that your skin will change color at some parts of your body, and it won't change back for the longest time. Some people go bald, some people get bad teeth. There is just a whole host of problems that could happen to you, and this knowledge doesn't really come to you until it's already too late, until you are already pregnant. Then you have a problem, then you go and ask somebody, then they're like, oh, by the way, I also had this problem with my second child or my first child, and you are like, I wish I could have known this earlier. So much of my pregnancy was just me going, I wish I could have known this earlier. I would still do it, but I wish I could have known. I wish I could have prepared for it. I wish I could have been mentally prepared for it. Like the rashes, that was the worst. And then I found out that it's common. I found out that my mom's friend had it. My mom's other friend also had it. Like, why are we not taught this in school? You know? I'm not sure if this was even remotely helpful for anybody, but at the very least, I hope it was interesting. I hope you got a little glimpse at what it really is like taking care of an infant around the clock. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye bye.